So last time we pondered on the intriguing question, who am I? Who am I? And just to recap in 3-4 sentences, we said that we have many external identities, like the way we look and where we come from, our name, our profession, the roles we play, and so on and so on. But all this keeps changing. All the external factors keep changing. And so when we ask the question, who am I? Then actually we mean, who is the one who remains ever the same, and when all the rest is changing? What is this entity that makes me, that is eternal? Whereas the external things, they come and go, change the forms and so on. But then I, the soul, I am eternal. And normally we would say, I am the body and I have a soul. That's the awareness we are living in. I am a body, I have a soul. Somewhere there's a soul. But we change that around and we say, I am the soul and I have a body. And between these two awareness, between these two type of consciousness, there's really, it's a different world. A completely different world opens up to the consciousness, I am the soul, because I then identify with that which is eternal. And it's one thing to know that, to have the information, okay, I'm a soul, the soul is eternal, it's a point of light here. One is to know that, but the other thing is to experience that. And as I said in the first session, everyone can experience that. We may have to do a little bit of work on ourselves, work in a sense of changing our thoughts. Thinking again and again the thought, I am an eternal soul. I am separate from this body. I am immaterial. I am the soul, immaterial, the soul, the body is material. And when we experience this, when we reconnect to the soul which we are, that's what we are, and then we reconnect with the original qualities of the soul. It's very logical actually. The soul is peace, love, happiness, power. It's all there in the soul. When we identify with the soul, and then we reconnect automatically to these original qualities, means automatically there will be more peace in my life. Automatically there will be more love in my life, more power, which leads to inner stability. So there's these very practical benefits in day-to-day life which we will experience. So that was a short recapitulation of the first session. Now the second session, we want to go to know more about the soul. We know it's a conscious energy, eternal energy that's located here. That's why people do a tilak here. Tilak, this dot, the point you would see, that's a symbol for the soul. And now we want to know more about the soul. What is happening in the soul? And these are a very normal questions that all of us would have asked us at some point. Where do actually my dreams come from? How can I change? How can I change? I want to change something in my personality. How can I do that? I want to change my relationships. How can I do that? I want to change the light. That's easy. So how can I bring about inner change? And then how can I break out of routines, the hamster wheel? Doing the same things, repeating the same mistakes, experiencing the same pain from the same mistakes. How can we break out? How do we take decisions? How do we take decisions? That's a subtle process, an internal, intrapersonal, subtle process. So we should know this process. Memories, where do our memories come from? Potential. I personally, when I was a young person, I always had the feeling, I think I'm using a fraction of my potential. But it was just a feeling, and I had no idea, I did not even know what I mean with potential. But I just had the feeling that I think there must be much, much more to myself. So how can we tap into this inner potential? Potential of inner powers. Powers of the mind, powers of the soul. Power of peace, power of love. Power of happiness, power of wisdom and understanding, power to take decisions. How can we awaken these powers? In a practical way. This is not theory. I'm talking about me going to work and experiencing difficult relationship. How can I deal with that? Or me getting under stress because of different situations. How can I change that? Or me feeling very small in front of different people because they appear to be so strong. So my self-respect goes down. How can I change that? I'm just giving these examples to make it real, because I feel the course it should bring practical change in life. There should be a practical benefit. Otherwise, there's no point spending time with this course if there wouldn't be change, practical change. With change, I mean my life should become more peaceful, more loving, more happy, basically. And this is possible, definitely. I've experienced it myself, and I've seen it in many, many others, how quickly change also can take place. So, these are the questions. The chat is open. If anybody feels like asking a question, just please write that in the chat, and I would see it and then can pick up the question. Otherwise, I continue with the second chart. Excuse me. So to understand what is going on inside, in the soul, we use the help of a model. A model is always a way to describe a reality, that we can discuss reality, like a roadmap is a model. But only with this model of a map you can understand where Lucerne is, where Basel is, where Bern is. How would you understand? How would you comprehend without this model of a roadmap? You wouldn't understand. So likewise, this is a model of what's going on in the soul. In order to get a feeling what is in reality happening in the soul. And you will see that it's quite logical. It's not something complicated. So I hope you can read. So you see, this is you. This appearance, a human being, this is you. Human being consists of two parts. Human, the physical form, and the being that is depicted here as this point of light, the soul. Human being, it's the being in the body. The being is the soul, I the soul, the eternal soul. Now, what we see here is a model to describe what is happening in the soul, what processes are going on. Yeah, this is the idea. So what we have here is the subconscious mind. Subconsciousness, and we can symbolize that as, what is that? Like an archive with different drawers where files and information is put in and stored away. And there's memories, there is good memories, there's negative memories, there is personality traits, sanskaras. This is a Hindi expression and explains very nicely what is in the subconscious. So when we do something repeatedly, we create sanskara. For example, when someone starts smoking, he doesn't have the sanskar, the habit of smoking. But once you smoke more and more over the years, you create this sanskara to smoke. This is like a tendency. So we have good sanskaras and negative sanskaras. So someone may have a sanskara of being very generous. So sanskara and personality trait is very similar. Habit. And these are all acquired. This is very important. These are habits, memories, sanskaras that we acquired. We have built them up. All clear? This all in our subconscious. Now, this subconscious is very easy to understand in connection with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is like, what is this here? This is a Samsung screen, a big screen. This is the screen of the mind. And on this screen, we have thoughts, emotions, images, desires. This is all in the conscious mind. Now, how do these two work together? I would like to demonstrate that with a question that I have for you. I would like to ask you to remember the first teacher you had in your life. Remember your first teacher you had in your life. Can you see this person? Can you see the face of this person? Can you recall the name of this person? Maybe you can even remember the voice. Maybe some memories of some incidences pop up in your mind. Do you get this kind of experiences? I could ask you with many questions. For example, can you remember the first time you went in holidays without your parents, with friends only? First holidays without parents. And then suddenly memories flash in, and maybe you hear the music that was going on there, you remember what you were doing, and maybe also what you should not have been doing because parents were not there. So what happens is as follows. Maybe you haven't thought of this for many, many years. But now, here I ask you the question. It's like the drawer is pulled out, and all this information that was there unconsciously in the subconsciousness, this information comes into the conscious mind. Very simple. And once this information comes in the mind, now it comes in thoughts, it comes in images, but then you would even get the emotions from the moments. And if you would concentrate a lot, then more information would come back. And that's how we function. So that's completely fine as long as there is positive images, positive thoughts, positive memories. We don't have problems with that. But what happens? Mostly negative information comes. I don't know mostly or not mostly, but there is negative information coming from the subconscious. Sometimes we experience something negative and it would come back for 1 day, for 2 days, for 1 week, maybe a month afterwards, I remember that, maybe 1 year later, maybe 10 years later, still it keeps coming back, it keeps coming back. Incredible. Things that happened 40 years back, this information comes back and we experience it as if it had been yesterday. Now this is like the screen we are watching. This is our mind. Now, probably many of you would have a TV at home. I'm very fortunate I don't have a TV. This is my great luck. But when you see a movie that you really don't like, and you feel kind of disturbed by it, you feel unease only watching that because of different reasons, what would you do? What would you do when you don't like a movie? I believe you just would change your channel, right? You would select yourself another program. So what do we do here? There's a movie coming into my mind, and I watch it from the beginning to the end. But not only this, I watch it again the next day. I watch it again two days afterwards. I keep watching that. So let's say during the day, someone at work calls me something which I really didn't like, and then I keep repeating that in my mind. It's like watching the same movie that you actually don't like, but you keep watching it. And as long as you watch it, you suffer. If you stop watch, then your suffering would also stop. True? If you don't have these thoughts, if you don't have these images, where is this event? The colleague who called me something, if I did not remember here the words and the pictures, where is this event? It's no longer existing. It's in the past, it's gone, nothing is left. Absolutely nothing is left. Only the memory here, in the soul. Now comes a question. Probably every one of you said, yes, that's true. But now, of course, the question comes, how can I change that? How can I change that? I would like to do a very practical example. I believe probably most of you would be working or have the experience of working with others. So let's say you work in the office and there is one person who gave you troubles since quite a while. This person made you suffering. And I would think probably everyone has at work at least one person that creates problems. What is good about that? We can come back to the question afterwards. What is good about that? It's good that there is one person like this. We need that. Okay, but for the moment we put this question aside. But let's say you are in the office, at your workplace, you're happily doing your job, you went early there, nobody's there, everything is fine. And then, in the distance, you hear the door opens, and then this person comes in. You don't even see who is coming in, but suddenly you hear this one's voice. You hear the voice. And then, what happens? Before you were happy, you were working efficiently, concentrated, focused, but then you hear the voice. You get here on the physical level, you get some trigger, and then some information from the subconscious comes straight away in the conscious mind. And then you have the same thoughts. Oh no, this one. Again today he will be like this. Again I would again lose my peace because of this one. I can't stand him anymore. How long must this continue? So these kind of questions. And then, because you have these questions, same behavior. Let's say there's coffee break, and then everybody's standing around, and you're friendly to everyone, except this one you try to avoid. You ask others, how was your weekend? Was it fine? Good? But this one you don't ask. You hope not to talk to him, but if you have to talk, you're very short, very formal, a bit dry. And the other person probably thinks, oh, look at this one. Again, he's so dry with me, and again, he's not in a good mood. So I create the same reactions in the other one. And this just continues. It just continues. It has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. It has become a vicious circle. How can we exit this circle? Is this a good question? If you find that this is a good question, you can type a yes in the chat. If you know the answer, you can also type the answer in the chat. So, the good news is that this model is not complete. In the soul, we have not only subconsciousness and the conscious mind, we have also another faculty. Because, Celia, thank you for the confirmation. If we didn't have another faculty, we really would be subject to the circumstances and we would not be able to change. So the same negative experiences would come back to us again and again. But we can change. We can exit a vicious circle because we have something like, these are not new things here that I'm explaining to you, but it's just I'm reminding you of things that we all know, but we have forgotten. We have something like an intellect. In German, that would be also intellect or Verstand. A reason. We have an intellect. And the intellect, a symbol that describes well the intellect, is an eye. And I'm sure you would have heard of the eye of the intellect, the eye of wisdom. Am I right? Have you heard that? But probably many of us, we couldn't quite grasp what it really means, what it really stands for, the eye of the intellect, the eye of wisdom. Now, this is what it stands for. Before, when this was covered, it's like the eye of the intellect is closed, meaning the intellect doesn't work. So we are caught up in the same vicious circle. But the intellect can observe, the intellect can evaluate, the intellect can decide. The intellect is the manager. I can use the intellect to manage my experiences in the soul and in the mind. So all this is in the soul, subconscious, the conscious mind and the intellect. That's all part of the soul, faculties, capacities of the soul. Now, coming back to the other example, the vicious circle where the same person creates me the same kind of suffering, same experiences. Now with the intellect, I can observe. I can see this cycle that I described. I can stand back and see, oh no, this is happening all the time. All the time. And I can evaluate what this means. And I can understand it creates me suffering all over again. And I can take a decision. I don't want that anymore. I don't want that. So, in one sentence, I could say, I have a choice. I know this sounds too simple, but it is simple, but also very true and powerful. I have a choice. Do I want to continue or do I want to change? And to have a choice, this is actually the freedom we have. There's many types of freedoms that we would long for. Maybe I would wish that this colleague would no longer work in the same enterprise as I do. Maybe I would wish I had another boss or whatever. We have many wishes. That's all outside. This is not, I cannot often not change that. I can influence, but I cannot change. But what is my experience with all that? In the soul, this is my choice. So let's be very practical and come back to the other example. If I have this problem with this colleague, it's my choice to make a change, but we need humility. If I say, I will not change, this one is wrong, he has to change. I will not change. Okay, no problem, keep suffering. When this is my decision, I do not change. And then it's like the decision, I want to keep suffering. This is my decision. In other words. But if I am humble and say, I am humble, I'm ready to bow down. In spirituality, sometimes we say, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. Not physically, but I'm ready to kill the ego. Means, okay, let me be humble. And then, with this decision, possibilities open up. Then next question is, with the intellect, you can evaluate. Okay, I know this person. What could work? What could work? And then there's many ways. For example, you can create a situation when you can ask this person something. Or maybe you could use humor. Or maybe you make you position yourself differently. You say, okay, in this enterprise we are all actors. I am an actor, he's an actor. He's acting the bad guy and he's doing it very well. Let me act out my role. It's a completely different mindset that can change, make wonders. But for example, you can also say, I will somehow try to find a way to say something nice to this person. And I have examples of myself, I heard examples of others, what kind of change this can bring about. Now, maybe 2-3 courses back, we had one person, she would hear that, same example, and she told herself, okay, I go back, tomorrow I tried it out with one person at my workplace. So she went back, and next day this person came in through the door and she would make him a compliment straight away. But not artificial, but kind of from a true heart, made a compliment. You need to find something that you actually really can say something positive about. Because if it's fake, this doesn't work. But she said something nice from the heart. Now this day, the person who would normally be very uncooperative, he came back with a pile of work that he completed, which normally would have taken 3-4 days. He came back in the evening, placed it on her desk. The next day, again, normally he would not cooperate. The next day he stood half an hour or 1 hour, I can't remember, behind her and would explain something to her at the computer. So then it continued. But just to give an example, it's actually quite logical, because human beings, souls, we souls, are actually good beings. We are good beings. And yes, some are completely caught up in their negativities. That's true. Some are very negative. Some have very little capacity to remain peaceful. Now, if someone has very little capacity to be peaceful, and I keep asking peace from this person, in my mind, can you not be peaceful? Why do you get angry upon such little things? So I'm asking peace from the person who doesn't have peace. That's his problem. So how would this guy feel like? It's like going to the beggar in the street and asking for money. Now he would give you a good laugh and say, you want money from me? Look at myself, I'm begging because I don't have. So same with peace, same with love. I just want to trigger your own reflections. Because this is what is happening. Someone is peaceless, and then because our intellect, our understanding is not activated, the eye is closed. Someone is peaceless and I surrender my peace and I become peaceless as well. So this person is on an energetically very low level and I would be on my level. But then this person gets angry and I come down on this level, and then that's where we operate. He's angry, I'm angry, no difference. No difference. But if he's angry and I have the greatness to remain peaceful, actually to bestow peace even, to wish him peace, then at some point I would uplift this person on my level. Maybe not immediately, but at some point. And definitely I would be protected from negative energy, from negative vibrations. So I would not lose my happiness. So with the understanding, the intellect understands. With the understanding, I can tell myself, instead of asking peace, let me create inside good wishes of peace. May you be peaceful. I just wish you peace and love in your life. That means from taking, I'm changing my attitude and I'm giving, and I will be protected from negative energy. But not only protected, but a new, I can break out of the vicious cycle. So let's, we are about to close the session. We can then finish with a short meditation, but let us for one moment explore a little bit more the functioning of the intellect. For example, if you close your eyes a moment, and now I ask you, go to your kitchen and open the fridge Just with the eye of your intellect, visualize that. You open the fridge and you look what's inside. Okay, now you close the fridge. Now put yourself on the top of your favorite mountain. Favorite or not favorite, but on top of a nice mountain. And see how it feels up there. Okay, and now you come back to the session here. So what we just explored is, with this eye of the intellect, with the inner eye, you can direct your attention. And you just gave yourself the proof. Sitting in your chair, you could go to the fridge, you could go on the mountain within 1 second. So we can direct our attention. So if something negative is in the mind, negative memories, negative images, I do have the choice not to watch that any longer. And I just need to have this loving self-talk. No, I don't want to watch that. And inside, in my awareness, I literally can turn back. I can turn my back to this old event and focus on something different. I think this is something very important to practice. Some negative memories come up. You immediately say, no, I don't go there. I don't go there. Immediately you put a full stop. And maybe the mind, because of a habit, again, it wants to come back in the mind. And then you say, no, I don't go there. I don't want to see that. But you look at consciously something else. You bring up a new memory, a fresh memory, something nice. You think about something you like. And this is actually a very powerful method to transform a relationship. In a negative relationship, if you find something that you can truly appreciate at this person, and when you start focusing on that, and you see that, then your feelings start change. The vibrations you send out towards this person start changing, and your relationship also starts changing. And certainly your feelings change, and in this sense you're protected. So I would like to give you a minute to type in a question if you have any. Otherwise, we will then finish with a short meditation. There is one addition. I just forgot that. In the soul, these are it's slippery. So here, these are acquired personality traits. But in the soul, we have also, I'll just try to fix that, we have also the original qualities of the soul, like peace, love, harmony, purity, creativity. So instead of being trapped in the acquired habits, we can use the original qualities of the soul. And after this session, I would like to invite you to take 5 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, to use this model for your practical life. In a sense, you open the eye of your intellect and you ask yourself, okay, what situations are there where the negative information keeps coming back in my mind? Keeps coming back, same thoughts, same pictures, and that creates you suffering. And then you use the intellect and you say, okay, let me change that. I have a choice if I want to continue like this or not. Because you observe and you see, oh no, it's going on so long. And then you evaluate and decide, what could I do? How could I change? How could I think differently? What thoughts do I need to change? Maybe what actions do I need to change? Good. Okay. So if there's no question, I would then suggest to do a meditation. Any meditation, I start by relaxing the body, the muscles. I let go of all the tensions. And I create a very comfortable, relaxed feeling inside. And then I bring my attention to the middle of the forehead, where I, the soul, am located in this body. I am an incorporeal soul, separate from all the organs of this physical body. I am eternal. And I'm filled with the energy of peace. I am a completely peaceful being. I feel relaxed and peaceful. And there is power in this peace. Power and stability. And now, in a good distance, I visualize a thick wall of glass. In front of me, in a good distance, there is a good, thick wall of glass. And behind this wall of glass, I see a person that has created me suffering for some time. But as this person is in a distance and behind the glass, I feel completely unaffected, completely safe. And I feel in my power. Nothing negative can touch me. Nothing vicious can touch me. I am protected and strong. And I observe this person behind this glass wall. And I see that this person is actually suffering. The soul is peaceless. Maybe the soul lacks self-respect. Maybe the soul lacks love. And as I feel secure and in my power, feelings of mercy emerge from my heart. Feelings of benevolence. And now I create good wishes and pure feelings for the soul. In my mind, I create a thought. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. With the mind of my intellect, with the eye of my understanding, I see things now differently. the same person I see in a different perspective. Because the eye of my understanding is now open. And I have taken the choice to see this person in a different perspective now. Time of fighting is over. Time of fighting is over. This is a time to use the powers of love and peace. Let me be a lighthouse in this world. Let me be a lighthouse at my workplace. Let me be a lighthouse in my family. Let me be a lighthouse even when I am alone. The world is calling for me to shine my light of peace. This is my time. It's time for my true self to come on the stage. It's time to step out of the shadow of low self-respect. It's time to accept and embrace my own greatness. It's time to be the lighthouse for this world. Om Shanti. Thank you so much for attending. Hearing myself the commentary, I realized the importance of people like us coming together, meditate together, spread rays of peace together. The question is, about these qualities here. There's an easy way to remember the qualities of the soul. First, the soul is, these are your qualities. Pure, purity. When there is purity, there is peace. First of all, peace. When the soul is peaceful, we can experience love. First is peace and then love. When we have peace and love, then definitely there is happiness. Peace, love, and happiness. When you feel happy, you feel the power inside. So the fifth quality is power. And when you experience power, and then you have the wisdom. Wisdom to take the right decision, to follow the right voices. Thanks so much for attending. I hope you can join next time. If possible, try to join in at 7 o'clock, because when you follow the meditations before the sessions, this is how you build up your practice of meditation also. So when you meditate and on your own, you get different ideas as to how you can use your mind and what kind of thoughts you can think. Yeah? So again, thanks so much. Appreciate it really that you are on board. And practice is very pure consciousness. I'm a soul and all others are also souls. I'm an incorporeal eternal soul, a being of peace. It's nice to see your different names here. Kartik, I don't know whether it's Kartik whom I know. Who has been here? Okay, let's wind up. Take 5 minutes to see where do you want to open the eye of the intellect. Where do you want to make a choice? You may only choose one situation, and if you bring about a change there, it gives confidence. Kartik, thank you. All the best. I play a video for you to reflect with for some moments, and after 5-10 minutes, I will stop. Om Shanti, good night. Thanks for attending.